Okay, what's up, everybody? We live with a new episode. We have a special guest. Sharine is in the chat. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. And
Well,
just so people know, I can't see the chat. So,
oh yeah, unless I put the comments up on there because you already know that. My first question would be: everybody want to know what made you go to IHOP that day.
well, for me, I thought that I could reach out and have a conversation with her um, because I realized, like I said in my video before, she was narrowing it down to two people. And I've heard that she knows who took the picture of her son, something. I don't even know when it happened, but anyhow, um, it seems as if she was going to put the blame on either me or Kiki. But um, so since the two of them were going to be there, I wanted to have a conversation and let her know that I was your son because I felt like she was going to use that to justify doxing me. And that's why she made me aware that she knew my information and stuff. So, um, but I've never had like a volatile exchange with her, so there was nothing to say.
Are you
Still up?
are you breaking up, Sharine?
I'm my back.
Yeah, you back now. You were breaking up. Hold on one second. It's probably ain't gonna.
I've talked we times on
Oh, it's breaking
the
up.
first time I spoke,
It's breaking
it's
up.
still
Hold
breaking
on
up
one
again.
second. I probably have to do yeah, it's still breaking up. Probably gonna have to do the call in because you're breaking up on your internet. Okay, try to say something now.
Hello.
Okay, you good now. Breaking up at first. Go to your repeat your last point. You said you went there because you thought you was gonna get doxxed.
Right. And I thought I would be able to have a conversation with her because I've spoken with her in the DMs before. And it's not like we've had volatile conversations. The first time I spoke with her, trying to relate to her on the level that her father's she's a PK kid and I'm a PK kid too, preacher kid. And I was just telling her that her platform seemed to be very negative and attacking people, and why didn't she try to come from a more positive place? And that's when she told me, don't take YouTube so seriously, you don't know these people. And I said, okay, you're right. That was the end of that conversation. The last one was when I offered her the furniture. I said, if you want to come and get furniture, because we are down the street from each other. um Out of the blue, her response was, kill yourself, B. So I didn't know at first what triggered her to be angry with me until it came out that she was upset about me being on your show where you talked about her and she felt like because I did not chime in or I went along, I guess because me staying silent, that it was as if I was co-signing you talking about her being a bad mother. And so that came out with where her true problem was with me. So going back to the first question, yes, I went up there thinking that since the other girl was there, it's a public place. She never said she was going to do anything to me. I never said I was going to do anything to her. So there wouldn't be any indications that it would be something, a physical altercation. So
And when let's take us back when you sat down, when you had a conversation, what made you get up and leave the table?
well, first of all, I would say that Kiki was very nice. I introduced myself to her. When I tried to address VS became defensive at the very beginning, and she took her phone and put it in my face. So,
Now press 1 to with
so
an
that,
Yeah, I
hello.
open up the
Your show
phone.
will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2,
I had
1.
Sharine. I'm gonna have you to call in because you're
Log
breaking up
Talk
on my
Radio.
end.
Okay.
Yeah, probably got to call in because it's breaking up.
Okay. You got the number in the chat? Oh, I got your
Yeah,
number.
I will post the number. It's the 646 number. So everybody can hear you clearly because it was breaking up on the video part. So we have an
Okay.
exclusive interview. You all see her on the camera. So we're gonna bring her on via phone so we could be able to hear her clear. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So she's gonna call in. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sharine is going to be on the show, and she's going to call in, and so we're going to have to talk with her, and she's going to call in. This is an exclusive interview with Sharine, and we're going to ask some questions. So we are watching the chat. Be respectful to the guests, to anybody in the chat. Be very respectful to our guest Sharine. Of course, if you have a question, you can always dial it. Let me see. This her Sharine.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the table, we were at the part at the table. When you sat at the table, what made you get up and walk away?
Well, because I realized I wasn't going to be able to reason with her, and she kept getting louder and louder when she was like, "I told you to kill yourself. I told you to kill yourself." Mind you, it's New Year's Eve. The Ihop is packed, fully packed, families and stuff. There are kids that are there. So I realized she was, it was embarrassing, to be honest, because people were staring at us. So I was like, let me go ahead and walk out of here because she's escalating, getting loud or whatever. And so I walked out the restaurant, and when I got outside of the restaurant, I guess that's when she hit me in the back of the head. I don't know what I got hit with, if it was her hand or what. But I noticed when I went back and looked at the video, her question was, who comes and show up and don't fight? Well, first of all, why would that be the first thing that would pop up in your mind if you and I never had an exchange about fighting? I could see if she and I had been into an argument before, and I was like, when I see you, I'm going to do this. Or if she was like, when I see you, I'm going to do this. None of that never took place. So there was no reason for her to go from 0 to 100 to even think that I was coming there to fight. So I don't know where that came from. That was left field. And that morning, I was in her chat when she was talking to Kiki, and she was saying she wanted to narrow it down. I gave them directions to where the IHOP was because they were saying 236, 239. I said it's on 234. And then that's when I said, CVS, you blamed me. Meaning that the other girl could have been the one that followed her son. I'm not the only one that lived close to you. So that's why I'm saying people make it sound like it was just something out of the blue. Like I had been stalking her and she told me to leave her alone. I showed up. No, that was not the case. So I just wish people would stop giving out false information.
So you never followed VS and her child?
I never what?
So you never followed her and her child?
No. I wasn't on YouTube when that happened. And I say it came out last night when Shelly was talking about who actually did it and admitted to doing it. So I feel like VS used that as an excuse to dox me. I told you, I feel like her anger was about me being on your platform that day. And she said it.
Are a lot of people are assuming they're saying that you were Club Chat. Is that true? Are you Club Chat or part of Club Chat?
No, I haven't been a part of any club. And I did a video saying Team Me. When I first came up here, the person that I follow, if I was going to say I was with anybody, I would say I was with Pretty T. I started with watching Lovely T, Impressive Channel, and then I started watching Pretty T. And I used to mod for Pretty T as well. So I always went with her. I always liked her saying, which was she was like, I'm solo dolo. And I respect that. And I was like, that's how I want to be, solo dolo. That's why I followed Pretty T. And then she, got offline for a while. And that's how I found out about the other content creators. So I just visited different people's chat. But to be honest with you, and in your chat, I would say I became more of, if anything, I would say I was more of a producer than anything else. And if there was anybody else that I would say I really clicked with, it was Pretty P.
So
I respect her. I like her. She's down to earth.
Okay. Who invited you to? Did someone call you and tell you to go to the IHOP?
No, they were on the live talking about where to meet up at, because on that live, if people listen to it, she's talking about me and she's talking about Kiki. So she's saying the other girl that lives in Virginia, that live around in my neighborhood, she was saying what she had to say about that. And then she was saying with Kiki, they were trying to decide if she was going to go to Kiki's house or not. And then that's when they talked about going to the IHOP. They were giving each other the wrong information. I went in there and said, IHOP is on 234. So no, I did not specifically say I'm coming to IHOP, but I told them the location where it was. And then when I came in there, I introduced myself. When I was asked to leave, when I realized she was going to continue to escalate the situation, I left.
Mm-hmm. So when she hit you in the back of your head, did you go to the hospital?
Yeah, I went to the hospital later that evening because when I talked to my doctor and stuff, because I suffer from sarcoidosis, and they needed to just, sarcoidosis, it causes, because it damaged my liver, it causes me to have issue like inflammation of the brain, and I have seizures, but it's they just wanted to make sure it didn't like set off or any seizures or anything like that. So they just did, like scans and just did a check me out, did a neurological test and all that stuff, since I was hit in the back of the head.
I have a lot of people were saying that you were a Crip, that you were a Blood, that you were a gang member. Are you a gang member, a part of a gang?
No, I'm not a gang member. I am okay, let me start off. First of all, because I've also heard people make smart remarks, how she this, how can you do that? I'm sort of shocked at how limited our people think. They put you in a box. They feel like you can't have several degrees or you can't do certain things in life. And I'm just surprised to hear that in the 21st century. So a lot of people even question my profession. I went to Old Dominion University. I got my undergrad degree in psychology, double major in human service counseling. Then I went to Howard University and I got my master's in social work. So I was working for the Department of Social Services. I did child protective services first, and then I switched over into the school system as a school social worker. I got sick. That's when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It runs in my family. My mother also is on disability because of it. And I went out on disability in 2012. Once I went out on disability, my son got into the music business. And once my son started doing music, I started connecting with promoters. And then I connected with a guy who owned a record label, Black Hawk Record Label, Black without a K. LLC. So I connected with Ace and I bought into 49% of his record label, and I felt like that would give me an edge or give my son an edge up by me being connected to the music business, co-owning a record label. When I did that, a lot of people started reaching out to me to manage them. And a lot of them came through my cousins down in the South. Yes, most of my cousins in the South, they are Bloods. Yes, they are OGs. And a lot of them asked me to manage some young, as they call them, the young Bloods coming up, to sort of, they wanted to get them out of the neighborhood. Because down there where my cousins now are, they're in North Carolina, a lot of people are getting killed, locked up. And they know some of these young boys have talent. They're like, my cousin up there doing music, he would send them up here and I would try to help them get into business. Same thing. The guys that I deal with out of Atlanta, they're Crips. But what's interesting to me is I look at the division here on YouTube, but when it comes to music and I work with those young boys, it didn't matter if they were Crip or Blood, they came together. And some of them, they worked together in the studio because they had to go through me because my record label, we had our own studio. They ain't act a fool. They didn't act stupid. They knew how to come together because they knew at the end of the day, they wanted to make music and make money. So I am associated with them.
Mm-hmm.
So when a lot of people were like threatening me, yes, I will tell people, if people are going to threaten to hurt me or something like that, they're very protective of me. I don't have an issue with calling them saying, listen, somebody is threatening to do something to me. And I don't have, there's nothing I have to worry about. So no, I'm not a blood or Crip, but I can relate to them just like I can relate to the wealthy, just like I can relate to the educated, just like I can relate to the uneducated. That's one thing that psychology and social worker will teach you, is that you can deal with different classes, different races, different religions, different sexes, all those things. I have the capacity to deal with. I don't judge people and put them down because they're in the gang or whatever, not if they're trying to make their lives better.
So it was a question in the chat. They said, can you ask if she ever met, talked, or seen VS before she came to IHOP that day? Have you ever met her, talked to her before that?
If I had met who?
VS, before that day on IHOP.
No, I never met her in person. I had just talked to her in the DMs on Instagram.
Okay. So while going, a lot of people want to know, do you ever regret going to IHOP?
Personally, I regret it because my family. I regret it more so for my family. And then I don't like to get my family pulled into things, as I said before, because the type of people that my family, like, I don't want to see anybody in my family get locked up for a decision that I made because they feel like they need to go do a get back or whatever. So I had a family meeting. I let everybody know, yes, that wasn't the best decision or whatever. But it's a pro and a con to that, me going to that IHOP. Personally, on my end, I should have made a different choice. However, when I saw the outcome, I didn't know she had hurt so many people. I started getting all these calls and all these messages from some lady named down to a lady. It was people that were saying I was the first victim, to a lady getting locked up in front of her 3-year-old child, down to people just, losing their jobs, to some lady's son that was in the military. I mean, I just heard so many horror stories that I didn't even know. I would say it sounds like it's almost 100 victims. It's almost like she's running an organized crime organization. And so if this was a way for people to get justice on the pro side, I'm glad it happened. On the con side, I don't like that I went up there and it had to happen.
So I have was a question that, have you ever met or seen Kiki before at the IHOP?
No. I didn't know who Kiki was or Samantha was until the last couple of days when she was showing up on, on different people. I forgot who chat she was in first before she was on VS chat. I guess it was that whole disagreement with her and QB over, I think he modded her or something. And then she was on VS chat, and that's when it came down to it, because that's when VS started talking about, I'm glad I know it's somebody else that live in this area other than that other one that lived down the street from me. And that's when I first realized that Kiki lived in Virginia, Samantha, whatever her name is.
Do you also in this, they wanted to know into this situation, did I send you to the IHOP? Did I call you to go down there?
No, and I don't understand why people keep saying that, and that's why I asked you to clear it up as well, Wiley, because you didn't talk with me until after the incident.
So
I'm sorry.
Oh no,
you were at work during the incident, so no, I already gave the reason why I went down to the IHOP. I even did a video on the reason why I went down to the IHOP, and it's still as if people do not comprehend why I went to IHOP.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it 100 times, and it's like it's going in one ear and right out the other. So I don't know. You can say 100 more times, and I guess some people still won't get it.
Mm-hmm. I just think people minds made up for forever. I think, but in this thing, are you do you feel as though they got the right charges for her, because she's been charged according to the report with 2 charges: militia wounding and abduction. Do you feel like that's was too harsh, or do you feel like that's justice?
Well, is it too windy, Wiley? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. This is how I have to look at this, because it's interesting the way it all unfolded to me. I think it was something that was more spiritual. So they told me when they were going to charge her, that's another thing too. I've been called a snitch or whatever because I said I was going to call the cops. But people act as if they didn't see VS sitting on me yelling that, call the cops, call the cops. So she was trying to call the cops first. So I just want to go back to that. It seemed like that went over people's heads as well too. But they were going to charge her with assault and battery at first, which was fine with me. But when I started hearing all the other stories and like the things that she's done to people, like, I mean, even some of the elderly people, I see how she's treated them and she's done them. I feel like, you know, it's sort of like you reap what you sow. So it's not just going to be justice for me. It's going to be justice for a lot of people. And from my understanding, a lot of people plan to come to court that day to get their justice. And I feel like, I know people call it karma. I call it what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. If you put out negative stuff into the atmosphere and you're just doing negative things to people, you can't think that you're not going to have any consequences to your actions.
So you don't think
my
that
answer to that is that, go ahead.
No, so I was just saying, so you don't think that she was overcharged?
After finding out all the other stuff that she's done to people, no.
Okay.
Because she's basically probably getting charges that she should have been got the way she's done other people.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason. You never did. Number one, I'm going to tell you something my family taught me. We're from the South originally. You don't disrespect the dead, number one. You don't disrespect your elders, number two. And that's the thing, a problem that a lot of people got up here. An example I give, like Mystery Van, very disrespectful toward me. I'm going to tell you, if someone called me right now, my son is grown and married, and told me that he was being disrespectful to an older woman, I would smack him in his mouth.
Mm.
I don't play that. We don't play that in the South. You don't disrespect your elders. You don't disrespect women, and you don't disrespect the dead. It's just certain things lines you don't cross in life. And to me, when you get so vile inside and so evil that you can, like, for example, put Tracy's mom, a dead mother, up on a wall, and people accept that, no one in your camp is willing to not be a yes person and say that's not right. Because I know no one will want them to do that to their family member. The way she is towards Bless Watkins, she talks to her. People don't think that's a problem. That could be your grandmother. That could be your mother. If somebody was treating my mother like that, it would be a problem. I don't understand why she has been allowed to do so many things that is so hurtful to people for so long. But what happened, what man couldn't do, God did.
Do you feel like this situation, a lot of people is saying that you were wrong for going there, that you shouldn't have did that, you were looking to fight? What's your response to that? Because that was one of the rumors, you was looking to go and fight, you was looking for all of this.
You know what? People that say that, I really don't care, because I understand some people can't think out of the box. If a person can't understand that if you watch a person have a history of how they dox and harass a person, and that person is giving you the heads up that they're getting ready to do that to you, if you can't understand me wanting to go and have a conversation with her to prevent her from doing that, then that's on people. Everybody thinks differently. I'm different. I knew I didn't want to get tied up into a beef with VS. If she would have doxed me and started doxing my family, the situation would have got real bad. I'm going to put it that way. Just like I told you who my family is, my family has a name down south. If somebody go at me like that, I am going to call on my family members. So then you're talking about something getting even worse than what it is. So what is wrong with me, myself, going to talk to a person face to face to say, look, I don't know why you think I did this or you think I did that, but you're not going to dox me. You're not going to victimize me like you've done everybody else.
And to be clear, she's not charged with YouTube drama. She's charged with she done to you. But I think for the public, how many emails have you received from people? Do you have an account of how many people have emailed you?
No, I don't.
Okay, but a lot of people have responded and came out of the things that VS alleged have done to them. In this situation, will you continue it? Are you going to continue with the state to comply with them, or are you just going to say, you know what, she learned her lesson? Because a lot of people are saying that you won't follow through, that you would just tell the state that you want to just drop the charges. Are you at that point, or you just want to continue with the case?
Did you say people said I'm going to drop the charge?
Yeah, some have said, oh, yeah, she might drop it after the backlash.
You know what, Wiley, you know, I'm not trying to be condescending, but sometimes the way people think and rationalize, it just doesn't add up for me. And I'm going to tell you, that's the reason why I have pulled back on YouTube, because one thing I guess I got to understand is that some people may be in their early 20s, they may be young and inexperienced in life, but what in the world would make somebody think that something like that is going to happen, and we're going to start the process and I'm going to drop it for what reason?
Mm-hmm. How are you physically now? Are you in a better space now? Are you still hurt? How are you doing now? Because I know you said you had other health issues as well.
I'm doing okay, but I suffer from a chronic illness. So I'm always going to have, you know, some type of chronic pain. And, I'm just always going to be in pain.
Mm-hmm. And your family response, I always was wondering, what do your family have to say about this when you first told them that you had an incident at the Ihop?
Well, my family asked me to get off of YouTube, so I did that. So I'm not going to be a content creator. My family has asked me to pull back because they don't want to be put in a position where they feel forced to have to step into some mess. Because my family know how sick I am. And I've said that to a lot of people. A lot of people are very protective over me. And I just wouldn't want them to feel like they have to get into some mess and then they end up, you know, in trouble because of YouTube. So it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in that situation, I always was curious, did the IHOP worker physically break you two apart? Like I always was wondering about that.
No, she was asking them to call the cops, and she said, "You gonna call the cops? You gonna tell them that she came in here when they agreed with her request." That's when she got up and she said, "Well, let me get out of here before I get locked up."
Mm-hmm. If you have,
and so for
go ahead, no, finish
so
your
for
point.
people, I was just gonna say, so for people to keep saying you shouldn't have gone up there, whatever. I'm grown. I go wherever I want to go. Just like when people say you shouldn't be in somebody else's chat, I can't understand that either. I'm grown. I go anybody chat now. If people want to tell me where I can go and can't go, if they want to tell me what chat I can be in and can't be in, if they pay my mortgage, pay my health insurance, I need a monthly clothing allowance, I will be more than happy.
Everybody
to
keep bringing
compromise.
up Dre and Goddess. Can you elaborate? You keep bringing up this Dre and Goddess that you threatened them. Is there any truth to that?
Ain't nobody, but people fail to realize that God has got into something that she wasn't involved in. What happened was that Goddess now, this was after they all had the breakup with Mona, and they were all clicking together, her, Dree, and I can't think of the other girl name, but the other girl, I called in and I talked to them about how to mediate their relationship with Mona, because they were just talking about how hurt and angry they were. And another girl, I can't think of her name, that's with them, she started to curse me out. She was like, "Are you with Mona? Are you a brain? Are you this and that?" And she just went off on me. And I said, "No, I'm not with anybody." Once again, people assuming you're with the group. I said, "No, I was just trying to figure out how y'all could mediate the situation, whatever." Dree had to calm the girl down. I can't remember her name. And, you know, Dree handled the situation, I think, in a mature way. However, because I was in Ask April chat, and Dree and Goddess now, but they don't like Ask April, they took a screenshot of me in Ask April chat and was like, "You're in the ops chat." And then Dree made a video about it. So I wanted to address Dree. So when we were on that phone that night, Dree and I were supposed to be addressing each other. Goddess jumped in. Goddess started going off. And so I responded to her. She gonna talk trash, I will talk trash too. I'm not gonna let her just disrespect me, because it wasn't even about her. It was about Dree and I having a conversation. So to be honest with you, Goddess had nothing to do with that conversation. Goddess and I never had a disagreement before. We didn't get into it. It was whoever that other girl is that hang with them, I can't think of her name, that was rude and disrespectful to me. So people need to know the history once again. It wasn't out the blue that I had an issue with Goddess. And when they were talking about, "Oh, you said you're going to take somebody up there, they're going on probation or whatever." Yes, once again, I still associate with my artists. And you know that, Wiley, because I'm reaching out to them to come and do, you know, some shows with you.
They're saying that you said you was going to kick somebody at the strip boat.
The shrimp boat, I was going to what?
Kick somebody? I think somebody said in the comments to ask her that she was going to kick somebody.
Kick somebody?
Yeah, so you never said you was going to kick somebody?
Nah, I said I was going to chin check her. Get it straight. Get it straight. Yeah, chin check is when you're looking at a person face to face and you bump. Man.
Oh my God. Okay.
And that's not the only thing I said. It was like I was pushing the girl buttons because I could tell she is emotional a wreck. And then I started yawning on her. I was like calling her Big Shirley. I was like, "What you gonna do, roll over on me?" I was like, "What you gonna do, run me down, eat me up, Big Shirley?" Then I was like, "I'll take your man." So I was messing with her and she got to screaming. But you know what? She shouldn't even been on the phone. Her name is not Dree.
Wow.
You mind your business the next time. Stay in your lane. And guess what? Dree and I didn't even argue. Sean said, "Can you and Dree agree to just disagree and be in the same chat to not say anything to each other?" We said, "Yeah." Moved on like two grown women. That's it. It ain't that serious. But guys got on the phone doing all that screaming and stuff. Yeah, you threatening me, you gonna do all that. If I see you face to face, that's what you gonna get chin checked. It is what it is.
And
so she need to lose some weight in the meanwhile. But other than that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people saying this interview is gonna hurt your case. They don't understand the state, the government got a case against VS. It's not Sharine.
They don't understand.
Yeah, this is a criminal case.
Yeah, they don't understand. They don't understand laws. They don't understand politics. So all I can say to them is God bless their heart. I have lived in Prince William County since the early 90s. I know I worked with the police officers here in this county. I did joint investigations with the detectives when I did CPS. I know the board members here. I have placed some of the politicians in the roles that they're in. I've helped elect them. So I know this system inside out.
So take us with Prince William County. Is that a predominantly Caucasian county? It's a predominantly white county.
Yeah, it's a predominantly white county. More and more minorities are moving down, like from the DC area, because, you know, with them, they're trying to push the blacks out of DC. So they either move out to Maryland, or they're coming out to Virginia, but Virginia is starting to, you know, try to do things to keep so many minorities from coming down here. We have a lot of Latinos, a lot of Africans, and a lot of Asians and Indians that live in this county.
So is that a Republican? Is it based mainly Republicans in that county? Or is that a liberal? Is it a conservative?
Yeah, it's a red state.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a red state, but now it's with this last election, it's, you know, the Democrats took over.
Okay. So are you going to, everybody want to know, will you be going to court in February, or are you just going to not go?
Yeah.
Okay. You will go to court.
Yes.
So in this, if VS were to call you and apologize, would you forgive her?
I've already forgiven her.
Mm-hmm.
She's a broken person. When I saw that, you know, I actually feel bad for her. I'm going to be honest with you, because I think it's sad that a person has to live that way. It's almost like she's living in hell on earth.
Mm.
I feel sorry for her, because I love life. No matter, although I'm sick, I enjoy life. I love life. I have a beautiful family. I travel. I just, you know, I have great friends. So I thank God for the life that I have. And some people are not enjoying their life, and that's why misery loves company.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people
they can't understand a person that's at peace.
A lot of people is just continuing to say, "Oh, this turned the case." Thank you all for the super chats, but I do want to ask you this: did you ever go back to that IHOP? Did you ever go back there for some pancakes or some sausages and eggs?
You're so silly, Wiley. You're so silly.
Okay. But I have.
You know what? When you come to DC, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take you to IHOP.
Okay. Yes. We ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna tell Rico to come too.
Just long as he don't pee on the table, long as he don't pull out that pee, we are good to go.
Y'all get to eat all the pancakes you can eat.
I have so what are you gonna do? What's your New Year resolution now after this situation happened? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna come back and become a YouTuber? Because I know your family said no. Is this a temporary thing, or you say you're done with YouTube?
No, I don't think YouTube is I don't think it's for me, because I guess I thought a lot of our people were at a different place. How do I put it mentally? When I first came on YouTube, I was trying to teach people about finances. And I noticed when you try to either teach people about finances or you try to put them on to how to make their lives better, it seems like you get a lot of jealousy and pushback. And to me, that's crazy, because I got where I'm at because I listened to the people that were older and wiser in my life. I don't care if they were white, black, or whatever. If they had some knowledge they wanted to share with me and teach me how to create multiple streams of income, how to invest and things like that, my ears was wide open. I allowed people to mentor me. So I was humble. And I just see that people up here like mess, because like when I was just doing finances, I had like 200 followers. When the situation happened with VS, it went up to 1,000. That's not what that's not my purpose. I don't want to come up here and be in mess, because that disrupts my peace in my life.
Yes. So Shell Wilfo asked a question. She want to know, what were your injuries? Did you sustain in the industry? If so, what were your injuries?
I'm not going to be specific about that right now.
Okay. And she want to know who broke up the fight. She want to go step by step, but if you want to answer that question.
I just said that once VS asked them if they would call the cops, and they agreed to calling the cops, and she got up and said that, okay, let me get out of here before I get locked up.
Okay.
Nobody broke it out.
Yes.
She fled the scene.
Mm. So, if this is your first time, make sure you all subscribe. No, she do not want to answer any phone calls because I asked her earlier before the show started. She said no because some of you all are going to be asking disrespectful questions. Y'all not going to be respectful. Some of y'all aren't. So when she end the call, we will take some of y'all calls to come on and you can voice your opinion about the interview. Is this something that you would like to share to the public? We got 600 plus people watch it on YouTube right now. And we have about 8 or 9 people watching on Facebook. What's your message to them? Is it anything that you want to get off your chest?
Well, what I would say in my time on YouTube and my observation as people of color, guys, we got to do better. We have to do better because we're falling behind. I don't even think people are realizing that they're going to be resetting the dollar and that we're going to have super inflation. People are not going to be able to afford to. What happened in 2008 was just the tip of the iceberg about what's about to happen in 2020. And it seems like Black people, like, we're so behind. When you go to have like these type of conversations, you know, like Wiley, when you do these conversations about politics or whatever, it's like a lot of people are not there. They're not ready. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to talk to them about finances, like how to go to the next level in life, they're not there. But if you want to talk to them about what did such and such say about her? What did she say about her? They're into that. But you know what's happening? Black people are getting left further and further behind because when I go into these upper scale neighborhoods, every minority group, they're moving up. Indians, Africans, Asians, they're doing well. Black people are still at the bottom. Until people start expanding their mind, like you like to read, Wiley, and until people start learning how to work together, you don't have to like each other. I'm telling you, but white people, they come together and work together. Their families could not stand each other. But if it comes to building a business or being successful, if you don't think they ain't gonna come together for some money, they on a whole nother level. We're still fighting over pennies. People, the average people around here are trying to figure out how to be billionaires. People in our community may brag about, I make $40,000 a year, I make $60,000 a year. These people over here trying to figure out how they're going to be a billionaire. Tell me how far is 40,000 from a billion?
I feel you on that. So I'm reading the comments, and everybody has just said what they're saying. But I would say come back on YouTube because your voice matters. I mean, you're a great producer of the show, the artists that you have. I believe your son is very talented, music, good rapper. So in this regard, would you get back into doing management? I would always want to ask you that.
I probably would do more like consultation and not direct management because I don't think I have the, the energy to keep up with. It takes a lot when you manage an artist, and I've talked about that before. But I still, like I said, I still reach out to my old artists. I still promote their music, and I still try to help them.
And okay, somebody said, "Wiley, you're gonna ruin her case again." The government is filed charges against VS. Okay, you all keep. I think they don't understand the difference between criminal and civil. They don't get it. And Sharine is not charged with 2 charges. No, she's the victim in the case. She's not charged. Now, VS shouldn't be doing interviews about it because it can hurt her because she is charged with, VS is charged with those 2 charges. So I think people are not understanding. They keep on saying, well, her lawyer gonna understand. Come on now.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the law, and I realize that the Commonwealth, because especially with people saying that I would drop the charges in the Commonwealth, even if there's a situation, they will still go forth with the case.
Wow.
They don't need, like you say, if you have a domestic abuse situation, have a husband and wife that get into a fight, and let's say after a while, the wife is like, I don't want to press charges against my husband, the state is going to say at this point we don't care. He violated the state law.
Mm-hmm. So what's the because a person like myself, a person like myself would like to know, what is a commonwealth? What is that? Like, I don't know what that means. For the people that don't know, like myself, can you explain it to the people?
Okay, the Commonwealth is laws that are pretty much made by the people. So it's almost like they gave the people a chance to, like, for example, in the Commonwealth, sodomy is against the law. That's the laws that they came up with, the people that lived here in the state of Virginia. Same thing, I guess, with Kentucky and other places that are Commonwealth. So if somebody finds out, for people that don't know, if someone finds out that you're having anal sex, that's against the law here in Virginia.
Wow.
And the only reason I know the laws and I keep up with the laws is because of the politicians I work with. And my father was a chief of probation and parole for Arlington, Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So that
every year they pass new laws. In July is when the fiscal year begins. And he will always make sure he kept me updated, let me know this is what's about to change or this is what is about to happen in Virginia. So, yeah.
A lot of people want to know, did you lie on the police report against VS?
No. The police didn't really need me to say much. They were watching the video.
As I said, you got to be careful what you record.
She was live. After the incident happened, she was live streaming. When the police officers got to my house, they just looked at her on the video while she was live streaming, still talking about it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sharine. I'm going to open the line, let the people speak and see what they have to say about it. But I know you said you don't want to answer any questions, regardless of any other calls. Because I already, you said you don't want to answer any questions for the call. So I just want to say thank you for doing this interview because everybody was wondering how were you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And I'm praying for VS and I'm praying for her family. I don't have any hard feelings against her. I didn't have hard feelings before. And I know other people they had stuff happen to them directly. So I understand them, but I had never had things happen to me like, Sean Bradley, Shelly, and different people, what they had gone through with her. So I didn't have any hard feelings against her. There was nothing personal, and I still don't have any because I sort of feel bad that she, she wasn't smart enough to use, she didn't use her brain. She didn't think.
All right. Thank you so much, Sharine, for coming on.
Okay, have a good day, Wiley.
All right, you too. Okay, let me give her a round of applause because she came on the show and she answered each and every question. So that was a blessing. So now the people can call in and give their opinion. The number is 646-716-8447, 646-716-8447. The people, you all can call in. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of don't feel sorry for her anymore because nobody told her to take a grown behind her. So she came on here with her sob story. She's in the wrong as much as VS. Yes, VS is getting legally wrong, but she's in the wrong just as much as VS. Y'all are too grown to be on YouTube beefing like y'all are in some high school playground or some middle school playground. Y'all are too grown for all this. It is not that serious. Okay?
All right.
And James and Five Baby needs to let it go. It is not that serious to be beefing like this on YouTube. I don't feel sorry for Sharine. I hope she needs to be in some therapy because who told her she's a social worker and she's going up there to confront somebody being a whole 44-year-old woman? That is just beyond crazy to me. And she can sit there with her sob story and try to act all sad, all she wants to. But no, you are in the wrong also. And I'm not a VS fan. I don't like VS either. And VS is getting what she deserves. But Sharine, if there was a way to get her locked up, she should have been locked up too. Because she had no business going up there as a grown 44-year-old woman confronting somebody on something that happens on the internet. High school kids do that. Even high school kids don't even do that anymore. Middle school kids do that.
Thank you so much for voicing your opinion. All right, 8439, calling you on the air.
Hello?
Go ahead. You live on the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley, this is Shantae.
All right, go ahead, Shantae.
What I don't understand is why Sharine trying to play a victim. You know, the whole picture is you can go, yes, you can go anywhere you want to go. Yes, you can come in the IHOP. But why did you come and sit at her table? VS don't know you, never met you in person. Anything that you had to say, you could have said it through an email. Okay, if you want to go sit across from VS now, but you came and sat at the same table as them. If you would have never came there, VS and Kiki would have still been sitting there laughing, talking, you know, with the subscribers and everything. It's her fault. Nobody's saying that she can't go anywhere she want to go, because she can. But the whole big picture is you came and sat at that woman's table. You don't know her. You've never seen her in person. You only seen her through the on YouTube. That's it. Anything that you had to say, you could have said it through email. So you wrong in that. Why she trying to play victim and she talking all that doggone smack? She needs to stop it.
All right,
That's
thank
all
you.
I wanted to say, Wiley.
All right,
she
thank
up
you.
here trying to play a victim, and she's not.
All right, thank you so much, Shantae. The number is 646-716-8447. My next caller, 2041. Caller, you on the air.
Hi, Wally.
Hey.
How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Okay, now we've seen all the videos, but no one saw the actual fight itself. This lady was on your platform admitting she don't know what had happened. VS probably just snatched her wig off. She probably grabbed her hand and then, fell on her and was on top of her. Now, I saw another video where she described to the police that VS was trying to gouge her eyes out. This foolish woman forgot that she made a video that same night, and she said, see, look, she didn't do nothing because she had maybe a scratch on her forehead. She didn't say nothing about no scratches on her neck. She did not have no bruises over her eyes. And then I guess she thought better of it, and now there's no video. VS was wrong for putting her hands on the lady, but Sharine, at 44 years old, was wrong to try to sit down and be aggressive towards people that she did not know. And her personality came through today while she was talking to you on that phone. She was very condescending to your chat, assuming that most people in the chat were in their 30s and they don't know any better. I'm older, probably older than just about everybody in the room right now. And I know mess when I see it.
All right,
so,
thank you.
Like she said, what goes around comes around, and karma waits on everybody. If she's lying on this girl, it's going to come out.
All right, thank you so
Nobody's
very much.
here.
All right, thank you. 0984, calling you on the air. All right, she hung up. Okay. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hi, Wally. I just want to ask a couple of questions that you refused to ask her. Hello?
Go ahead.
I haven't hung up. You didn't ask her, did VS block her phone calls, and you didn't ask her if VS blocked her from sending her DMs, and you also refused to ask her if VS blocked her from sending her any emails. Those are some very important questions to know. If VS had, in fact, blocked her from contacting her by phone, by DMs and by emails, there is nothing for her to have to come to IHOP to sit down to have any type of discussion with VS. But when you have the opportunity to ask her these very pertinent questions, for some reason you refuse to ask her these very simple questions.
I have a very simple question though. How did they know? How did she know that they were at IHOP?
She knew that they were on IHOP because they scheduled the meeting on a live stream.
They were live, correct?
Correct.
So
that has nothing to do with my questions. My question was, did VS block her from sending her emails? Did VS block her from calling her? Did VS tell her to stop contacting her? Those are some questions that I put in the chat that you refused to ask. And if VS had in fact done all of those things, even if she did see VS saying she's going to IHOP, VS had already told her to stop contacting her. But for some reason, you refused to ask her.
Well, because you can I tell you why?
And
because
so
at the same time, it was no court order, in my humble opinion, to say Sharine can't be around VS. Sharine came there, according to this interview, and she came there.
That doesn't have to be a court order.
That's
if
what she did.
Somebody tells you to quit contacting me, that's what it means. And and I didn't ask you to equate your opinion about it.
That's why
I asked you to ask her if that had happened.
It was a lot of questions, ma'am. It was a lot of questions.
I'm here to ask if that was factual.
Again, that's something that you have to take up with her.
I'm
sorry we didn't ask her those questions.
I tried to take it up with her, but you refused to ask her.
Again, I did not refuse, ma'am. I asked every question that was super chatted.
You did not
I didn't
every question. You're full of shit.
Okay, well then thank you so very much, ma'am, for that. If you didn't get your questions asked, go start your show and you're gonna ask her the question. And you should get mad at me. Anonymous, you're live on the air. Go ahead, Carla. You're live on the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley, I'm truly enjoying your show, and I do feel like you are really a comedian. I just wanted to tell Sharine, thank you, Sharine. I really appreciate that you went down to the IHOP and gave us 30 seconds of you getting beat up, and then we were also given 6 days of jail time for BS, and she was taken off of the internet. What people don't understand is just like Wiley is a comedian, God is too. God got Sharine and he got VS all in one blow on the last day of 2019. So we should all be celebrating. Sharine was out here threatening people and claiming to be a blood. We saw that all she does is shed blood and tears. VS was out here threatening to be a cyberbully. Now she cannot get on the internet. I don't see what the problem is. I feel like I won. They're both gone. And I'm grateful. That's all, Wiley.
Thank you so very much.
For all you've done for this sector.
Okay. Last 46817.
Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
Not this last caller, but the caller before her. She was just a little bit too upset. The Wiley Show is not a courtroom. This is not a mock trial. She wanted you to ask questions like.
And I'm not the magistrate. I'm not the magistrate.
Jury, you know. I don't understand why she's so upset. Like, calm down, girl. Okay. So, I think as far as Sharine, she seems like a nice lady, but VS must have knocked some screws loose in her head. She needs to stay off the internet with her contradictions and her condescending statements. It just makes no sense. She said that she thinks that the people on YouTube got worse treatment than she did, but she was the only person that was punched in the back of the head. So I don't understand her reasoning. I mean, she didn't even pinch. Did she even pinch VS? Like, what the heck happened? Okay, so nobody has really said that VS is in jail. She needs to be under the jailhouse. If you ask me, she's a vile and nasty woman. And when she was when VS was threatening people to make something shake, I want to see her shake off these damn charges. Okay? Thank you, Wiley.
All right. The number is 646-716-8447. Go. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hey, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was on. I disagree with the caller before me who said that Sharine is not innocent. She is innocent. She's not in the criminal system. So when you speak of innocence, you're speaking of legal terminology. Now you're getting into legal terminology. I think the problem is people are commixing morality with criminality. So they're saying, "Oh, she was wrong for going there and seating herself there." That's a very different question from the legal aspect of violently attacking someone. From what we can see on the video, when what's her name, VS, when VS told her to leave the table, she didn't refuse to leave the table. She got up immediately after that. It was VS that escalated the situation by deciding to follow it, because VS had this rule that she made clear to us that, oh, you can't come to IHOP and not get beat up. You can't come to IHOP and not get into a brawl. So that was her ratchet, violent mentality there. And it landed her in prison. I disagree with the prison system. I think they should have kept her there just a little bit longer. And I'm out of here. Oh, yeah, thanks for a good show. I'm not trying to tear you down, but I don't watch you like that because of Rico. But I think this is, I disagree with the caller before me. I think this is one of the best interviews I've ever seen from you.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. All right. 8472. We want to fact check. She wasn't in prison. She was in a facility. She wasn't in prison. 8472. Caller, you on air.
Hi, Wiley. I just have a comment. No one put a battery in the back of Sharine and made her go to IHOP. Just like no one put a battery in the back of VS and made her get up out her seat and run outside and pop that woman upside her head. Everything that she did, she has to take personal accountability for, as well as everything Sharine did, she has to take personal accountability for. But in the eyes of the law, what VS did was legally not right. So she has to face the music. And everyone who makes excuses for her and everyone who's trying to make Sharine out to be such a bad guy, they need to look in the mirror and take personal accountability. And then they'll understand why VS has had so much power, why she's been able to get away with so much wrong on this internet, on YouTube, because of people like him who have defended all of her wrong actions for so long. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much. We got Anonymous. You live. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hey, Wiley Show.
All right. Hey, Shell, go ahead.
Hey, you're doing it. First of all, you did a great job. I think you did a really good job with the interview as well as you could. I think some of these points, I think we can all agree. VS, if she hit Sharine first, and she got charged, obviously legally VS is the one who's in trouble and is responsible for her behavior. But what I wanted to speak to was Sharine's condescending attitude towards Black people. I felt like during the interview, she kept talking down to people and acting like she was this professional woman, and people in the chat don't understand. But I'm telling you, as a professional woman, there is no way I am pulling up on anyone, let alone someone I don't know from the internet, to somehow have a confrontation with them. I know Sharine's probably listening, and you need to evaluate yourself. And I'm not saying Sharine violated the law. She didn't violate the law. We understand that. She can go to IHOP, fine. But what woman with something to lose at her age, and I'm close to her age, would pull up and try to have a confrontation with a woman online who's known to dox people, who's had a lot of issues? Who does that? If Sharine thinks she's so high and mighty, she should act that way. Aspire to be better, Sharine. That's all I have to say, Wiley.
All right. Thank you so very much. To the 760 people in there, we got 2 more calls we're going to bring on. Don't forget our morning show, Wiley in the Morning. It will be at 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. You're on the East Coast at 5 o'clock a.m. We had a lit show this morning, so make sure y'all tune in for that. Last 9433 calling on the air. All right, 9433. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the air.
You hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Here you go. Okay. So as far as me, what I've been saying, as far as VS, yes, y'all know she was wrong. However, as far as Sharine, I would have been like your other callers and got on her ass. But the fact that she actually said that she knows that she was wrong for going up there and she shouldn't have done it, that was good enough for me. At least you're taking some sort of accountability. And that's for me. But as far as some of the people in your chat, I'm sorry, like, I have to, like, really question this because you're really, really bright. So for some people, I just be looking back, I'm like, y'all just want to see the mess. Like, y'all have no idea about what the fuck what the F you guys are talking about. But yet you guys are, like, always trying to, like, hit somebody when they're down. Like, it makes no sense. Sharine is not a victim at all, however, for me. And for what I see, because I don't watch BS like that, but for what I see, girl, if you're going to dox me the same way you've doxed all these other people, like putting pictures of people like just a whole bunch of other stuff, then as far as me, and I know, like, you over here, like, blasting YouTube and all this other stuff, for me, I don't know if I would have went up there, but we definitely would have had a conversation, because you're not going to put where I live at, where I work at, my kids, or anything like that on the internet so somebody could go and do something to them. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if anybody who feels like, oh, she shouldn't have done that, X, Y, Z, well, sweetheart, you ain't never been doxxed before, and maybe you don't take your livelihood seriously, because, yeah, Sharine did get bopped inside her head because, hey, run up, get done up. I agree with everybody else. However, you don't know where that could have took it. So for me, I'm just like, I'm kind of glad that I'm glad she did that, because what if VX did, like, expose X, Y, and Z? And now we're looking at VS saying RIP because she did something dumb to the wrong person. So for me, I think people need to actually, like, grasp and realize what VS has done and realize that not everybody is accepting of that behavior.
All right.
Again, you run up, you get done up.
Okay.
So, hey, that was the thing. But
All
at least
right,
now
thank
VS ain't going to do that to nobody else, and I'm happy for that.
All right, thank you. All right, last 40317, calling on air.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm good. I have two questions. I have two comments to talk about. The recent caller that just got off the line, when she said doxing, and BS did all this doxing. Do you know I've been on YouTube for 4 years now, and you know how many people done doxed each other? All of them done doxed each other before. So I'm like, who do I get mad at? I mean, that's for one. For two, I'm like, when people are saying, oh, well, she admitted that she was wrong. No, after she admits that she's wrong, she needs to go seek therapy, because what 40-something-year-old woman do you know is going to sit there and come off their couch or whatever you at, get in your car or Uber or whatever and go meet some girl from the internet that you don't know? Period. I think that says something about this cyber stalking. Like, pretty soon, people are going to just be like, oh, well, so she ran up on VS and she didn't get into no trouble. Now I can do that to other content creators.
I see you on that. I hear you on that. Thank you so very much.
Okay, you have a nice one.
All right, thank you so very much. I'm on Lipstick Alley. They said, oh, Tracy and Wiley chat on Sharine's butt. I ain't team VS, but I can't stand people like Sharine to act all innocent, knowing dang well she wants IHOP uninvited for mess and attention. Maybe she didn't know it would result in an A-whooping, but she went to get her channel numbers up by instigating VS. And of course, I'm seeing other people in there. Some people in Lipstick Alley is saying justice for Sharine. So, okay, I'm reading Lipstick Alley as well, the chat. Okay, caller 1330, calling on air.
Yo, what up, Wiley? This King Wavy 84 shows. I want to know that everybody here, when Sharine made the statement when she got into it with that other girl online, she said she antagonized that girl because she knew she had mental health issues. Did you hear that?
Well, I didn't hear that. No, wow, I didn't hear that. No.
When she was talking, when she was just on an interview with you, she said people was asking, about, I don't know what the girl's name or whatever, who she got into it with, but she made a statement by saying she antagonized that girl on purpose because she knew she had mental health issues. I guess this was before or after she said that she'll chin check somebody. So my thing is, clearly she been watching VS. As a social worker, why are you antagonizing somebody that has mental health issues? Right there, that shows right there that she knew and she was fully aware that VS is a little off. Because clearly she said she ain't want to be doxxed about her. She know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really not normal behavior to go around and want to dox somebody that you never even met in real life. So she was fully aware that, you know, VS was a little off. And her being a social worker, she just literally confessed out of her lips that she antagonized that lady on purpose to get a rise out of her. But I just wanted to say that, though, man. I enjoyed the interview. Good show as always.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. 1424. Carla, you on the air.
Hi there, Wiley, in the chat. Listen here. I take offense, and I'm going to be real cool on this one. I'm going to take offense on her saying that, she didn't say everybody, but she needs to be careful because there's a lot of people that's in this chat who's very familiar with the law, okay? And I know what DS is up against. I know what her charges are. And her charges is basically the charges that would have to stick against VS has to do with injury, correct? Okay, so why did she go on a platform last night and say she wasn't familiar with where she was injured? She was talking about a wig and cornrows and all of this, and this was last night's platform she was on. And then today, everybody, now we're hearing something about hit on the head. Okay, so now we're getting specific. So from last night, she didn't know. So today, she do know. You guys be careful, because I done heard several callers say something about being hit on the head. We did not see that. We did not see exactly what happened. But on the first night, she said it was just a scratch. So you guys be very careful, because the only thing that's going to help this case here is based on her injury. Was she assaulted? A scratch? Or was she hit in the head? So I'm not going to help or hurt her. What she better do is be aware that everybody that's listening to her and listening to you guys are not, you know, some of us got a lot of good sense. Good sense. Okay? And whether she want to go for criminal or whether she want to go for civil, she can help VS. And I hope VS is listening to this. And I hope VS, and I know she has a good attorney, because at this point, she's not going to hurt VS. She can help VS. It's not over until both sides are heard, okay? And the lady is saying things that just don't make sense. It just don't make sense. So now she's been hit, she's got an injury on her head. But when somebody specifically asked her this evening about her injury, now she don't want to talk about it. She don't want it because she didn't went too far. So I'm going to leave it at that. Sharine, be careful, because all of us that are listening, we're not as ignorant as you think we are.
All
okay?
right.
And that's all I have to say.
Okay. To call into the Wiley Show, thank you. Thank you, caller. 6807, caller, you on the air. All right, 6807. All right, you live. 6807. Okay, we're moving on. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Wiley, I wanted to ask you to sing a song, but first I want to say this, like, do you guys really believe Sharine is a social worker? For those who actually have degrees and careers, think about it. When we get on here, we have to voice our opinions by calling in, because we're too scared to even drop down into the chat box or whatever, because we don't want it to affect our real lives. A person who has become a social worker or went to school and gotten certain accolades wouldn't risk it by getting in the B sector of YouTube. So anybody who believes Sharine is a social worker is just as crazy as the people who believed her when she said she was blood. Sharine has been a social worker. She's been an Obama administrator. She has been, what else did she say she was? She was a record exec. She was everything. Sharine's been everything on here. I mean, this is the internet. You could be whatever you want to be. But like I said, I'm just happy that Sharine got bust upside the head in the back, whatever happened to her, and that VS went to jail. And I was wondering if you could sing Jesus Will Work It Out for me, Wiley. Go ahead and sing that song.
Not right now. I'm going to say that for the morning show.
Okay, I see you saying Jesus can work it out in the morning. Bye-bye.
Oh, okay, bye-bye. I was thinking if you bring the purse, maybe I would have sung for you to brought the purse. 2711, calling you on the air.
Hello?
Hello, you live on the air.
Yes. Hi, Wiley. This was to the last caller. All of that doesn't mean that she's not a social worker. Just because she has a YouTube channel doesn't mean that she's not a social worker. So to say that doesn't make any sense. The next comment, yeah, because I mean, there's plenty of people on here that has jobs and things of that nature. So I mean, maybe her job doesn't have a social media clause. But to Miss Sharine, I know Miss Sharine is in the bushes. I mean, well, in the chat. My thing is,
wait a minute. No, stop. Somebody says Suge Knight Sharine. Y'all,
they said what?
They said Suge Knight Sharine. Y'all trying to end this chat. Y'all need to start. Go ahead, caller. Oh my
God. My issue is, yes, I do think that on a serious note, what Miss Sharine did was very dangerous. She could have lost her life, you know, trying to go confront someone that she doesn't know off of YouTube. I live in Philadelphia, and it's very treacherous over here. And if you do something like that over here, you're liable to really get hurt. So I just think it was a bad choice on Miss Sharine's part to go down there and trying to confront her. But at the same time, she did leave, and VS really had no business getting up, running behind her, attacking her from the back. So I feel like they both made poor choices. But at the same time, Miss Sharine, she was playing high stakes with her life, because you don't know what people was capable of, and you can't go around running up trying to confront people and all of that because of some YouTube stuff. She could have lost her life. So she needs to thank God that, you know, she walked away from it kind of unscathed.
Thank you so much, caller. All right, we got another call in the cube. 4804, calling on air.
Wiley.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I had to call back because I don't know if people have listening comprehension skill problems. I'm still hearing that she portrayed to be a blood. How many times am I going to say that I am not a blood? I am not a Crip. I manage them. And they talking about you're a record executive. Yes, I wasn't a record executive. I was an owner of a record label, so get it right. I own 49% of Black Hawk Records. Those are my shares of the company. And I help my son with music, and a lot of people know my son is into music, so you can believe what you want to believe or believe what you don't want to believe. And again, people keep talking about how is she a social worker, how she is still working. I said I went out on disability in 2012. What part do people not get? It's 2020. Do the math.
All right.
Obviously, I'm still not I'm not working.
Days up there talking about
Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I ain't never seen so many people that cannot understand plain English.
We know you not though. We know you not that somebody said Suge Knight Sharine.
Yeah, keep saying retarded stuff. And then the lady that was talking about she didn't know her injury, she didn't know that. No, what you all are upset about is because I won't disclose my injury. I'm not going to share everything because I'm not stupid. And you won't know. If you want to know, you come to court on February the 4th.
All right. Hear you on that. We got 4 more callers. All right now. She corrected it. She's not a blood. She's not a Crip. And she was a social worker, but she was out on disability. Those are the facts. All right. 4 more callers. Anonymous. You live on the air.
Yes, I'm glad Miss Sharine called in. Yeah, made some things clear. Everyone's not is not off from what it is that she's saying. I'm still following. I understood. I think she is a social worker. I think a lot of when I listen to her, I'm a good judge of character. When I listen to her describe her past and what it is that she did in her work history, I don't detect any lies. I think it's some people that just want to go against her. I think the only foul that was involved was her showing up. But I have a question for you, Wiley. With you being on YouTube and all, do you think that you are some form of a public figure?
Yes.
So I believe the same as VS. And with that comes people, especially when you're, I do believe that, put it like this, I do believe that Sharine made an unwise decision in showing up. However, I think that unwise decision was leveled off by VS's unwise decision to give people a time and a place on air, being a public figure that has doxed people that other people are reaching for. She did all of this. And then the most important thing that stands out is she violated the law. Like with all that Sharine did, she didn't violate the law. Like paparazzi show up on public figures. People who are interested in you, viewers. Like, I'm not saying that Sharine did not have an ulterior motive. I just don't think that her ulterior motive was violence. It could have been attention. It could, it could be her trying to launch something. I don't know. But I just don't believe it was violence. When I watched that video, I only see violence on the part of VS, who escalated it to that. Because it really was just that hostile words and slight tension at the table. And we don't know how long that lasts because it was brief. I mean, as soon as the video came on, all you hear is kill yourself and get away from the table. And immediately she did. She never refused. I had called a little earlier. And she never refused. So, yeah, but thanks for bringing Sharine in. Thanks for Sharine being in the bushes, too.
Thank you so much for that.
And checking people and dispelling the myths.
Okay, thank you so very much. All right, 6807. We're gonna close the phone lines after these last two callers. 6807.
Hey Wiley, I had to call back because I came a little bit later into the interview, but I don't want to just keep speculating on what will happen. So what I'm interested in is if Sharine, like the aftermath, like will Sharine now take some kind of karate or kickboxing classes? Because next time somebody's gonna knock the Mario coins out of her, and she gonna need to learn how to bob and weave. And also, I was watching some of her videos, and in one of her videos, she had the original blue blockers on, and I was wondering if she would be interested in selling those shades because they're quite vintage. Also, I called before. I have been trying to block my number. The *67 on your Blog Talk Radio does not work. So
it worked. They use
what number can I call? Because I don't need you doctors to be calling my ass back.
Oh, no. It works because everybody I had so many block callers today. I don't know. Maybe it's with your carrier.
Okay. Well, don't share my information.
I promise you I won't share it, man. All right. Anonymous, you're live on the air.
Hello, Wiley.
Yes, go ahead.
Is this Wiley Red Charles Jr.?
This is Wiley. Go ahead.
Hey, Wiley, you're a good interviewer, and I like, Wiley, you're messy sometimes, but you're a good interviewer, Wiley. I like when you say, okay, because when you say that, you want to go. You really want to go, but you got to keep the numbers up, Wiley. Wiley, you're so funny, Wiley. You're messy, but you're funny. You're funny, Wiley. And one more thing, they have to know that when you dock, sometimes you wind up in the box. Sometimes it's in jail or sometimes it's underneath. Stop doxing. You don't get to dox nobody's life. If they don't tell you their life, don't dox their life. Period, point blank. Nobody wants you to know everything about them. We all have two sides to us, Wiley. Nobody wants you to know everything about them. You don't tell everybody the first thing. And so many people are so judgmental, Wiley. Everybody was wrong in a situation, Wiley. She go there. What she go there for? She didn't get no meal. You go there, you got oops upside the head. You got hit in your head. So you get hit in your head. So the girl who hit her in the head, she gets in the box because she does the dox. No dox, no box. Have a good day, Wiley.
All right now. No dox, no box. Okay. 0317, you're live on the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley, I'm back again. So here's what I have to say. Like, when she came back on the line and was saying all this and trying to correct everything, the first thing that came to my mind is stalker. Like, honestly, I don't believe that we should be uplifting this stalker. We should be doing anything for this stalker. She said she don't want to be on YouTube no more. I'm trying to figure out why the hell she calling in trying to give interviews. She
All
said
right.
she
But I want to.
why she feel like she gotta talk.
But no. I don't believe that
Why she feel
she's
like
not
she
a
can have
stalker.
a good day.
Yeah, all right. I don't think that. I don't think that she was a stalker or anything like that. I'm all about justice.
I think she is.
I don't know. No. I don't necessarily. I think she called in being a. If we say that, then that's everybody that support her show as a stalker. No, I don't believe that.
No. If you jump up and you get in your car or Uber and go meet somebody you don't know, and
That's
they
not a
didn't ask you
stalker though.
to
It's
go
a
and they
in
don't
order
want you
for
there,
that's not a
that's
stalker. That's a
harassing and
history.
stalking.
Yeah, right. In that particular instance, she got up
So what
and
you call it, harassing?
I just called. She went to a public place. She left the table and she have a right to go to IHOP. She have a right to go to
But
a
does
public
she have
place.
a right to approach someone who does not want to be approached? And
Again,
and,
that's
I mean,
not.
You know,
Did she tell the management to tell her to leave the table? She left. She did leave. We got to give her credit. She left.
okay, but
and she was
I get
followed.
that. I'm talking about before the hitting. I'm talking about the fact that you decided that within your heart you want to go somewhere where you didn't get invited to this, dinner. You didn't. The person who's throwing this little dinner don't like you. What are you showing up there for? You are harassing and stalking. You came for a confrontation. If
All
someone
right.
does not want to speak to you, that is a confrontation.
Okay, you're right to your opinion. Thank you.
So I don't think she should have no shine. That lady crazy as hell. But
right,
that's
thank
all.
you. All right. Right. 0434. I don't think she's crazy or anything like that. She just went to confront VS and 0434. Call you on air.
Can I say something?
Go ahead,
Can
sister.
I say something?
Go ahead.
Listen. Okay. First of all, you didn't even give this lady a chance to dox you. If she would have doxed you, then there would have been a conversation to have been had. Then you go to the IHOP. Not only did you go to the IHOP, you asked the waitress, was she there? You described this lady to the T. So they took you to her table. You were wrong for even going up there looking for her. I know that, people might not like what I'm about to say, but if she would have came to my table and she was real aggressive, she was leaning over the table talking to her, so you want me to kill myself. You didn't come in there and say, can we have a conversation? You was on some other stuff, so I would have snatched you up at the table. I wouldn't have gave you a chance to go out the door.
All right. Thank you so much.
Because when you came in, you was on some other stuff.
All right. Thank you. All right. We moving on. All right. 9433. Call you on air. 9433.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, okay, I'm sorry. I'm really glad that Sharine called in because I was just like social work. I was like, didn't this lady just say that she was retired? And for me, and another thing, I just called in. But I agree with that last caller. However, I feel like I don't know, certain things I just didn't agree with. But as far as me, see, VS wouldn't have had a case if she would have snatched her up at the table. However, if you tell her to leave, if she gets up and leaves, then there's no fight. Actually, that shows that there's no harm. That shows that she's okay. Like, y'all need to really look at like the law books. For us, morally, we see it as, okay, she was harassing her. And also, as far as the other caller, if Sharine is stalking, then everybody who's a content creator is stalking. Because a lot of content creators be all up in everybody's business. And another thing, who wants to be doxxed? Like the last call, you didn't even give her a chance to be doxxed. Why would I give somebody a chance to dox me? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But that's about it. I'm sorry. I just had to say a couple of things. And another thing, somebody said that she needs to take a self-defense class. Sweetheart, is it a fair fight if somebody comes behind you and hits you? from behind.
Mm-mm.
From where I'm from, because I'm from East Oakland, we call that sucker punching somebody or sucker hitting somebody. And that's not okay. If you fight somebody, like the last caller said, I'm going to do it right in front of you face to face, because I feel like right now you're harassing me. Not when you turn behind your back and you think now all of a sudden everything is okay, everything's just settled, and all of a sudden I come up behind you. Don't even be like, hey, yo, Beef, what's up? What's good? We outside. What's good? Throw them hands up. What's good? That, okay. But no, you come up behind somebody, and as far as like that's what the law people are seeing. Oh, she told her to leave. She left, and this lady walked up behind her and hit her from behind. That's not please. I wish people would please just like think about what you guys are talking about before you guys call up here and make yourselves look so crazy. Like, that's not okay.
Thank you so very much.
All right, that's it.
All right. 6012.
Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
How are you doing this afternoon? This is Trina. Trina's Chi-Town Sweet Treat.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Doing all right. Go ahead, Trina, with your point.
Okay. I want to say today that number one, that Sharine needs to get another CAT scan ASAP. And the reason is because she's showing signs. My father had a similar head injury, and she's showing me the same signs that he had. And it's like, it was very concerning when I saw her last night. I was like, she is showing signs like something she can remember.
What was she at last night?
Okay.
What was she at last night?
Oh, who was that on? When I think it was on Joyce's Vlogs, when Jay Wilson and SB and everybody was together. She came on there for like a couple of minutes.
All right.
Yes. And so she needs to get that taken care of, because she might not know the effect of that hit yet. It can come on later on. Because my father almost died because he was a bus driver at the time, and he made a mistake and left his passenger who was off somewhere else. And he came back and turned around and came back and got him. He came off the bus and was looking for him, and he hit him in his head. My dad almost died from that, but he's okay, but he's never been quite all the way right again.
All right,
so
thank
it's
you.
not a joking matter that
All right.
she got hit in the head and she's fine. That's not true.
All right, thank you so very much. Okay, 1030.
What's going on, Wiley? It's Jay Dunn.
Hey, I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Doing all right. Yeah, I just wanted to say the caller prior to the last couple of callers actually said that Sharine should have waited to be doxxed. Who's going to wait to be doxxed?
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to wait to be doxxed without trying to diffuse the situation? That's my first point. My second point is, now once they said leave the table and that woman left the table, she left the personal space of these people. If that woman left the table and went to the next booth over and sat down and ordered pancakes and everything else, she had a right to be there. The fact is that woman not only left that table, but she walked out of the establishment to leave the restaurant and still got chased and got bopped in the back of her head. That right there, I feel like people not looking at. People are not paying attention to that. Because even if Sharine wants to go and sit at the next table over, she can do that. DS only has a right to protect her personal space. But once your personal space is no longer in danger, there is no longer a threat to your personal space, and somebody walk away from you, then you don't own Ihop. That woman can be outside of Ihop smoking a cigarette. That woman could walk down the sidewalk. That woman can do whatever she want to do outside of that building.
All right. Thank you so very much. That was Jay Dunn. All right. So 2711, calling on the air. All right. 2711. Last four.
Yes, Wiley. Hi. This is the caller from Philadelphia. I just want to say two things. First of all, unfortunately, the world wants us to have the patience of a saint, because whether it was at the table or outside, VS still would have caught a charge, because in the world we live in, they require that you take legal action for every single thing. If somebody come to my house trying to fight me and I go outside, guess who's going to jail? I am, because they're going to tell me you should have called the police instead of going outside. So that's number one. Number two, all this, who's going to wait to be doxxed? And you can't stop nobody from talking, and you can't stop nobody from doing nothing unless you take legal action. Even if VS did threaten to dox her, that doesn't give her the right to go down there and try to confront her and talk her out of doxing her. So none of that makes any sense. It's all about, you have to know, pick your battles. If I was VS and she came up to my table, from when she first walked up to my table, I would have backed up. I would have got up and started going towards the back looking for security or some kind of management, because a stranger is walking up on me. End of story. All this, she would have snatched her up at the table. If she would have snatched her up at the table, she still would have caught a charge, because you cannot put your hands on nobody, unfortunately, even if they are invading your personal space.
All right. Thank you so very much for that. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. All right. Last caller, 0432.
Hey, Wiley.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead, sister.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to say to Sharine, she keep calling, talking about comprehension skills. Was something wrong with her comprehension skills when VS asked her to stop emailing, stop calling, leave her alone, but she still wanted to be Billy Badass, sorry, Wiley, and carry her butt up to the IHOP. Now, VS should not have hit her from behind, but she should not have went up there. If it was me, I would have tried to snatch her soul as soon as she sat at that table, rolling her eyes and, looking at me like she wanted to do something. So she was out of line, and she needed to get her comprehension skills in check. That's all.
All right. Oh, somebody just called in before I booted off. Go ahead. I was about to click it off. Go ahead, 9159. All right, turn me down in the background. 9159. Okay, I got to click you off. 9159. All right, there you go. You just want to have me playing.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
So that was the end of the calls. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Listen, I stand with Sharine, justice for her, and it's in the legal hands now. It's in the court's hands. VS is innocent to proven guilty. She have a court date in February. I'm on the side of justice. No one should put your hands on anybody. If they're no threat, if they're walking away, you should just sit down, continue to eating your meal. This whole situation would have been avoided if VS would have continued to stay at her table. And another thing that we should stop doing, stop taping yourself committing a crime. Okay, go back in the old days. Don't make no video footage of yourself committing a felony. So stop that recording stuff and going live. And that's the thing I have to say. I do tomorrow morning, we'll be doing our morning show. I will be diving into the Phi Babe and James Caldwell situation. I'm going to hold my commentary. We're going to talk about it in the morning show. I get up early at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Central Standard Time, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're on the West Coast, that is at 1 a.m. I want to thank Sharine for coming on the show and sharing her story with us today. I stand with her and will continue to pray for her and her family. I don't believe she's a blood crip. I don't believe she's in a gang at all. I don't believe that. What I do believe, she had managed people that were in a gang. So if you dumbfounded about that, you can just go to a video of me interviewing Sharine months ago, even before this Ihop situation, and she explained that so eloquently in an interview. So make sure y'all please there Follow me on Twitter at Wiley Show. Go to my Instagram at Wiley Show. I want everybody to support Anthony Clark for Congress. He's running for Congress in Illinois. His name is Anthony Clark. Okay. He will be coming on our show sometime this week. Anthony Clark is running for District 7 for Congress. So make sure y'all go support that brother. I put his Twitter information on my community feed. I am endorsing him for Congress for District 7. So we're going to be talking with him about his platform, where did he stand on guns, what did he stand on impeachment, what he stands on Trump policies, immigration, Iran, and etc. So let me see. Thank you so very much for coming into the thing. The court date is on February the 4th, 2020. It was continued. So it remains to be seen where we're going to be at. So I'm just praying for it all. I'm praying for her children. But again, you got to be careful putting your hands on people. God bless you all. Got to go. I'll be tuning in. And also, too, I will be doing a review for the gentleman's panel, aka the bottoms panel. I'll be doing that review in the morning. So a lot of stuff we will be targeting in the morning show. Thank you to the moderators that's been in here. Shout out to Blue Skies, Jay Rio, D1 Smith, Tori Mom, Shantae, Nurse Nicole. Who else is I missing? Of course, all the mods. Shout out to the mod team. Shout out to Tamiko, Russell, shout out. Just it's so many. Thank you all for the super chats. God bless you, Wibby, for our morning show. Looking forward to it. B Scales. I can't forget about B Scales. I'll see you in the chat. Can't wait. I'll be doing my review of the All That in the Morning so we can dive into that. All right, y'all. Let me know in the comments, how did I do? Okay. Just don't use no profanity. I do read each and every single comment we get. So thank you for those that subscribe. Gotta go. Peace.